Hello, my name is Tyson Freeze, and this is my meal planner in Rust. So we'll start off just by running it and showing it to you. It has two components, a calendar part and a recipe box. So we'll start off by showing you, this is the meal plan so far, there's nothing in it. If we plan more meals, then we can pick a week, pick a day, and then pick a genre of meal, like a category. So we'll do sandwiches, pick the meatball sub. And now if we look at our meal plan, we can see that meatball sub is planned for today, the first day of the week. If I want to add more meals, I can open my recipe box and then view a genre of meals. So I can pick either Mexican or sandwiches. Right now there's nothing in the Mexican category, so we're gonna go ahead and click Mexican and add a meal. You can see there's nothing in it yet. So we'll go ahead and add a meal, and we'll just call it taco. Let's say it takes 10 minutes. And it's like $7 and some calories. So if we view it, now we can see taco is an option. We can see those attributes listed right there. We could remove it, but let's not right now. Let's go back out of the recipe box as well. And let's plan another meal. Let's say we'll plan it for week 2. Day 5, we'll do our new meal that we just added. If we look at it, we can see it right there. So I'm hungry, so I'm wondering, what should I eat today? I'll go ahead and ask, what should I eat today? Today's option is a meatball sub. So if I go ahead and eat that, I can mark that off the calendar. And then when I view my meal plan again, I can see meatball sub has been crossed off. And if I cross off all 7 days, then week 1 will be deleted, and I can keep moving on without having to see what I ate for the last 12 weeks. So you go ahead and close the program, clear it, close the terminal. So let's show you a little bit about how it works. Everything has been done in Rust and leveraged 2 features of Rust. The first is the structure. We use a meal structure with these properties, which you saw in the program, with several getters and a setter, and we'll go over those a little bit more in a second. The main function where the program starts is right here. We start by initializing a recipe box and a sample calendar, using a hash map and vectors, and then we just start working right away. We display the main menu. All of the menuing, all those print statements are stored here for convenience in the menu file. So we print that menu, and then we start listening for input from the user to match one of the menu options. And then depending on what option they pick, we pick one of these code branches and execute it, depending on what they want to happen. If they pick the recipe box, then we go one menu deeper into the recipe box menu, which is here. And it's again for the genre. Now I want to show you a little bit about ownership and borrowing in Rust. So if we look here at the README, I included the 3 rules for ownership in Rust. The first is that each value in Rust has a variable that's called its owner. There can only be one owner at a time, and when that owner goes out of scope, the value will be dropped. So if we look at the model here, we can look at the meal, we have implemented several functions for getting values. You'll notice that self here represents an instance of the struct, but we don't actually ever want to own that instance of the struct. So we pass self by reference instead, because if we were to take ownership of the struct, then at the end of this scope, that value would be lost and we can't use it anymore. So that's not good. Instead, we pass it in by reference, which allows us to get those values. In the case of a string, we clone it, so that way we can return it without worrying about underlying changes being made without our permission. So we just clone the strings. And for floats and integers and bools, we clone those as well. Here they have the copy trait implemented natively on floats and integers, so we don't have to do it ourselves. For the next example I want to show you is the setter. Here, because everything is by default immutable in Rust, we have to specifically add the mutable keyword, which allows us to change the value of eaten in the struct. And that's how it works, and some of the things that I've learned about Rust as I've been working on this project.